Now, Auburn fans have had to roam the darkness for the last 3 seasons. The ending of the Gus Malzahn era was tough. The Harsin hostage crisis lasted 2 full years, while their 2 biggest rivals in Alabama and Georgia have been at their pinnacle, and neither seems to be going anywhere soon. Now, Auburn needed to make a great decision with the new head coaching hire going into 2022 and now 2023. Enter Hugh Freeze. Now, while he hasn't won a game yet, the lights seem to have been turned back on down on the plains. There's finally positive momentum in recruiting throughout the town and the program in general. And the mob of detractors, because of Freeze's checkered past, have gone somewhat silent. The roster's been dramatically transformed, especially up front, where it counts the most, even though there's still a lot of work to do, and Coach Freeze will tell you that. But Auburn isn't bringing a knife to a gunfight anymore. Hugh Freeze knows how to win in this league because, well, he's done it before. His downfall was self-inflicted, which can be fixed, and has been. Nobody is hungrier for a winner than Auburn, and no one is hungrier to make good on a second chance than Coach Hugh Freeze. Now, make all the jokes you want about his past mistakes, but if you really know him and what's in his heart, then you know Auburn has never been in safer hands. Sometimes it takes someone who's been through the mud to clean a place up, someone who was left to yesterday to make way for a better tomorrow. And it seems Coach Freeze is the right man at the right time in Auburn. Now, make no mistake, he needs to win on the field. We know that. He knows that. Everybody knows that. And there's going to be growing pains. But the machine in the 3-3-4 has been turned back on and is slowly starting to churn forward once again. The offensive line has proven talent that's been brought in via the transfer portal. The quarterback room seems to be in a better position, and the coaching staff is prepared to put the team in a place where they have a chance to actually win again consistently. Defensively, there are still some holes, but if a couple young guys step up, 2023 doesn't seem so bleak anymore. Now, we all know the schedule is always brutal for Auburn, and this year is no different. But there is some wiggle room for the Tigers to put together a solid year if they can catch a few breaks. And a surprise year could be in the works. But we all know if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. And either way you slice it, Auburn needed someone to come in and believe in it and love it. And in my opinion, they found the perfect guy.
I'm pumped about Auburn football, to be honest. I'm excited for Auburn fans. Man, look, despite marrying an Alabama girl, I really love the town of Auburn. I love the people there. I love their passion for football there. You bring in Hugh Freeze, obviously a great football coach. He wants to prove himself in the SEC again, but you're also getting a guy who wants to prove himself as a man again.
That's exactly right.
And for some Auburn fans, his checkered past that you mentioned is already a non-starter for them. But I think the majority of Auburn fans see an opportunity for redemption in a guy, right? And you look at the schedule, we broke it down the other day. I don't think Auburn's going 6-6. I also don't think they're going to win 10 games, which means to me, 7-5, you're kind of looking at a possible floor. 8-4 is out there. And then if Hugh Freeze can come in here, especially these offensive coaches in year one, and maybe sneak a couple teams, maybe 9 wins is out there too, which at that point, you have to have a lot of confidence in the first season of Hugh Freeze. I mean, you get Georgia and Alabama both at home. Maybe you could sneak one of them at home or one of these games on the road. And I'm talking about A&M on the road, LSU on the road, or Arkansas on the road.
Yeah.
One of those.
Auburn goes 9-3, and y'all know me. Nobody's harder on Auburn than me. I call it like I see it. Auburn hasn't sent me a check yet, but we're all a fan of somebody. Auburn goes 9-3. I'm outside giving strangers hugs. Like it's that type of situation. But when you look at it, when you take a step back and you look at what's happened in the roster, right? Supplementing the offensive line, which has been a big problem for Auburn. You bring in Peyton Thorne, but Hugh Freeze again. You bring up a great point, and it's something we've talked about multiple times on the show. When you get to the height of your profession, which coaching at a place like Ole Miss, having them number 1 in the country, beating Alabama, beating Bo Wallace at quarterback, running that system that was really interesting, and then you have it all taken away because of something you did, right? Or actions that derailed you, because it all shows up on the field eventually. You have your professional life flash before your eyes. It does something to you. And that's not even talking about, your family, what happens there. And Hugh Freeze was the first video interview we ever did when he was at Liberty. You remember that?
Oh, that was.
The first interview we ever did on video for the J-Boy Show when you were running, production and stuff like that.
Yep.
It was him. And you remember he had that manila folder of what he would talk to his team about, being honest, being genuine. Here's how we can be better people. I need to be a better person. Here's how I feel like I can help affect you as a better person. And it wasn't just, you're great at running this route. We're going to do this against cover 2. We're going to do this as man beaters or in the run game. Now, when you take the off the field stuff away and you look at on the field, he talked about Phil Montgomery, the former Tulsa head coach, coming in as OC, who's going to call the plays. I think Hugh's 100% genuine with that. Now, Hugh also said it's his system, which is an RPO-based system, right? 3 surface method. You're able to affect 3 different layers, 3 different areas of the defense, so they can't really hone in on one thing. So bringing in Peyton Thorne from Michigan State, my question with Peyton Thorne, because I think the offensive line is going to be good enough.
Okay.
I think they will. Bringing in Britt from Western Kentucky, bringing in the guys from Tulsa, bringing in Avery Jones from East Carolina at center, and some of the depth that Auburn has returning, Cam Stutz, who was at SEC Media Day. I think they can get the job done. Not a ton of depth, but they can get the job done. But when you're running that RPO style of system, it's just like running the zone read. If you want it to work at its maximum efficiency, the quarterback has to be a threat to run. Is Peyton Thorne in the SEC athletic enough to scare defenses enough to be able to have them have to honor the quarterback run game? Because it opens everything else. And then on the flip side, can Robbie Ashford throw the ball well enough consistently to have defenses be afraid of his arm to open up that elite run game? They're kind of inverses, right? They're opposites of each other. That's what remains to be seen. What they brought in at the skill position from all over the country, I think you're going to see a different level of player. There's some young guys on defense. The Falk kid I'm really excited about. You brought in McAllister. You brought in McLeod, some pass rushers. That's the biggest question on defense is the pass rush. But you have a coaching staff that knows they can do it, a head coach that has done it before, an experienced quarterback if Peyton Thorne wins the job, which I think Robbie Ashford's still going to have a say in that. And then you look at the schedule. I mean, Flaming, at the end of the day, when you look at this Auburn team, you've got really good instincts. How are you feeling over there?
I'm deathly terrified, to be honest. Every Saturday, I'm going to be deathly terrified and afraid. Because I don't
Naked and afraid?
I don't know. I really don't know. We flex sealed a lot of places, right? Especially up front in the portal.
Flex seal works.
It does.
You see that fat guy on the boat? He's not sinking.
Every time I see it, the commercial, I want to buy one, but I never do. That's what scares me, right? I want to buy into Auburn, all right? But I don't know if I will. I don't know about the quarterback situation. You're only as good as your quarterback. I'm sorry.
I just told you. Don't worry. I talked about it.
Peyton Thorne. Congrats. Congrats. Maybe a 6.5 on a good day. We'll see. First date. Probably need to go swimming. Probably wears a lot of makeup. Robbie Ashford. He's a receiver. Robbie's a receiver.
Jordan Travis is a receiver from Florida State. I'm not saying Robbie Ashford, Jordan Travis.
Then what are you saying?
That type, you can win with that type player in this system. This isn't a pro-style system. They're not getting in 12 personnel and just dropping back and going through reads and, hey, let's make sure we hit the tight end.
You going to win with Robbie Ashford this year?
Say that again?
You going to win with Robbie Ashford this year?
Well, I'm talking about in this system. I think Peyton Thorne's going to win the job, but I think they're going to use Robbie in 3rd and short, 4th and short, red zone, gadget plays.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask you guys next. Is there a scenario here for Auburn football where a 2-quarterback, a 2-platoon system is actually beneficial throughout the majority of the season?
70-30, if it's 70-30 in my opinion. I don't think.
Because I'm usually against that. Yeah, you are too. But there's situations where it can work. I'm thinking back to Michigan when Cade McNamara was the steady Eddie guy, and they brought J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, it's basically a wildcat role.
Okay.
Is wildcat is
how do you do that
a mild cat because he can throw it.
Well, that's funny. How do you do that without getting so predictable that you know every time Robbie Ashford's coming in, it's going to be a run play?
Well, I think because Robbie Ashford can throw the ball well enough. I mean, you see the way he ended the year last year against Alabama, the way he threw the ball, has a lot of confidence. He's never going to be Drew Brees or Dan Marino, but it's not like you're putting a true running back there where the tendencies are just through the roof. I mean, on 3rd and 1, I always think about it from a defensive coordinator standpoint. If it's 4th and 1 and you brought Robbie Ashford in, even in jumbo personnel, heavier personnel, 13, 22, stuff like that, I'm still not saying, all right, it's definitely a run. It's when I can't tell my players that because all of a sudden you get downhill and ahead of steam, tight end just slips right by you. I mean, Auburn could come out in 10 personnel in 4th and 1 or go to empty and you don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's and then in the red zone when the field shrinks. But that's why I call it the mild cat, not the wildcat, right? Because the wildcat, like, all right, it's about to get weird. He's going to run the ball. All right, how are they going to run it? What type of gap scheme or type of, Wonder Woman Emporium or Willy Wonka's factory run play is this going to be? Or there may be a jump pass, right? Right. But with Robbie Ashford or something like that can actually throw, now it makes it a lot more intricate. You can't just go in there and say, all right, there's a 95% chance this is happening. So I think it's interesting. Defensively, I think it's the biggest question. It's not offense.
Please run in on 4th and 1. Please run in on 4th and 1. Please don't throw it with Robbie. Please don't do that.
I'm not.
Well, it wouldn't be a straight throw. He's talking about RPO.
Yeah, you have
hey, look, if they stack
multiple
the box,
ways
to hit a slant route.
I just like Robbie being able to get 1 yard than throwing a slant route over people's hands.
Okay,
well, if you're going to do that, then I'd QB sneak it.
What happens if they do that
every time?
If they do that on 6 4th and 1s in a row, you're going to be yelling at them to do something different.
No, you'll be the first one.
To get all 6 of them.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if you don't get them.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you don't get them, then switch it up. But if anything, just don't go out there with Robbie Ashford getting shotgun and run a play. That includes a pass.
Okay, first of all, you just brought up a good point. If it's 4th and 1, why are you in shotgun in the first place?
No, I'm with that.
The kids can't even line up
Listen,
under
I'm
center.
all with that.
Get under center.
I don't know why
snap the
people
ball.
just don't Mayday every play. If you don't know what Mayday is, it's where everybody kind of sugar huddles and then breaks out there really quick, goes heavy on one side of the line. You either get that toss. Yeah, I mean, you know, Bryant Vincent was one of the biggest believers in it in the world, former interim head coach at UAB, now the OC out there at New Mexico, or QB sneak it. I'm down with that. But on it's not just 4th and 1s.
Yeah, it's
3rd and 2.5.
Sure.
It's 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line, like stuff like that. So where you can extend the line of scrimmage with a guy and give him that option, right? Because the options aren't just for stock traders. Okay, they're for offensive guys too. Our friends over at Good Ranchers. Okay, they're the best. They're getting it on 4th and 1 every time, okay? And you know we love anything that's made with top-of-the-line quality, and the only thing they've been missing is a pork box. Well, guess what? The scientists figured it out.
Arrived.
Or you asked for it, and they delivered. We did ask for it, actually. Good Ranchers has just launched their Prime Pork, 100% American pork that is steakhouse quality. The pork box comes with bone-in and boneless pork chops, sausage, smoked brats, and basically a whole lot of deliciousness. Okay, I don't care what subpar company you've been getting your meat delivered from. Well, guess what? We just changed your life. David, I'm just going to let you talk about Good Ranchers, the steaks. Now they have pork. Everybody's excited about it.
I'm on 3 straight nights of Good Ranchers food in our household. Tuesday night steak for me, Wednesday night steak for me, last night chicken breast, but I think Adam ate chicken all 3 of those nights. Darby,
You're doing right by your kids.
She diced it up and put a little teriyaki sauce on it. That was dinner last night.
Beignet. That's not it.
That's pushing it.
Okay, that's the line.
It's just a circus out here. It's a circus out here.
We need to figure
it's
out rules of
ridiculous.
All right, that's the line.
It's ridiculous.
Is that the line?
We need rules of engagement.
So
guys.
I guess I can only use
Whatever.
You can't even say blanket.
Good Ranchers, phenomenal. It's really good. You should do it.
You should do it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, plus right now, you'll get $30 off with our code BOOSTER, BOOSTER, at goodranchers.com. So enjoy real meat and real service today with Good Ranchers. Visit goodranchers.com. Use our code BOOSTER for $30 off any box. That's promo code BOOSTER at goodranchers.com. Goodranchers.com. American meat delivered.
Or keep buying, worse meat from
or just
places that hate you.
or just
That's
be
the other
lame for the
alternative.
rest of your life.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's the alternative.
All right, we are here with new Auburn head man, Coach Hugh Freeze. Coach, first off, it's really good to see you, man. Congratulations. I know it's big year. You're excited for it. Just kind of talk about back at SC Media Days and how you feeling.
Well, first, good to see you, Jake.
Yes, sir.
And appreciate all the times that you've talked positively about Auburn and me personally. But it's kind of surreal, really. It's driving into, obviously, it's always been at Birmingham for me. And, coming to Nashville is a little different. But yet, when you walk in, you sense, to so many people in the South, this means the kickoff to college football. And so it's getting real really, really quick. And, it's a blessing to be back at this level. Obviously, that comes with great expectations, great challenges, and that we've got to try to manage to put Auburn back on the map, so to speak. And that's the work is getting ready to really start taking place.
Well, Coach, you guys have hit the ground running, obviously, and the new era of college football, the transfer portal era, taking over a job. You've got a lot more freedom to be able to bring guys in, and you've flipped a roster. And people obviously talk about the skill positions, and that's great. We love to talk about quarterbacks, but you know what you've done up front, and you know better than anybody, the quickest way to bridge the gap is on the line of scrimmage. Can you just talk about what you guys have done on the offensive and defensive line to give yourself a chance to let those skill players go do what they do best?
Well, when you look at the elite teams right now, they're rolling in 3 deep defensive linemen and at least 2 deep offensive linemen, and we just weren't there. And so that was the first thing that we had to address. And certainly we've added, hopefully quality people to that. Now, did we have enough time to add enough where it significantly closes the gap on the elite? I don't know. I honestly don't. We'll start seeing that here in a month or so when we start playing some games. But I do know that we improved Auburn. Yeah. And hopefully it's enough that we can find a way to compete in these games that we're going to play in against the elite teams in the conference. And but it starts up front on both sides. And, we can talk about all the playmakers you want, but you better have some guys that are getting it done in the trenches.
Without a doubt. And Coach, the positive momentum around the Auburn program, I mean, you can just feel it. I mean, you look at the tickets that are sold, that sold out quicker than ever before. And it's something I know you guys, want to run with. But when you talk about building a program, takes cultivation to build that culture. And patience isn't just for doctors, as I like to say. Talking to the Auburn fan base right now, there may be growing pains. There typically is growing pains. But how excited are you to be able to coach at a place that loves football, that loves family, that loves people the way that Auburn does, because it's a heck of a fit, Coach. You can already feel it.
Yeah, I know it's the right fit for me, for our family, and I can't say enough positive things about the Auburn family. What they've done in selling more season tickets than ever before in the history of the program speaks volumes of their excitement and passion. I do hope they give us a little patience, I do hope, but you'd rather have it that way, that they're so supportive of our team and our administration and our staff. And I'm okay with those expectations. It is going to be some growing pains probably, and there's going to need some patience, but at the same time, hopefully we can put our players, even in year one, in some situations where we have a chance to win some games. And I think as long as we can show them that, and they're playing passionate football, and they see that we're recruiting our tails off for the university, I think the Auburn family is going to stay on board with us.
Yeah. Coach, I know you're a busy man. It's a crazy day today. You've put together a heck of a staff. Can you just talk about how confident you are in this group of guys? And it seems you all have worked so well together. You can see it on the recruiting trail. You can see it with the way you guys interact.
Well, I think so. We haven't gone through a season yet, and I think there's constant evaluation that has to take place when you're sitting in my seat. But obviously I believe in the staff we put together, and hopefully we can be like iron that sharpens irons for each other as we go through this season. But we've got great maturity and got some good young guys. Obviously got coordinators that have done it at a high level, and I love our support staff too. So excited about our staff.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I appreciate it. It's great to see you. He was the first video I ever did, interview on video. He was nice enough to come on and do that. Really appreciate your time and rooting for you. You deserve it.
Thanks, Jake.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, YouTube, we are almost to 100,000 subs. Thank you guys so much. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do. We got a ton of content coming. College football, Major League Baseball, NFL, everything you can imagine, and some recruiting. So make sure you subscribe.